Sit back and enjoy an hour of fascinating facts you didn't know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. In January of 2020, American golfer Michael Furr obtained the Guinness record for having built the longest functional golf club in the world. The club measured 15 meters and 57 centimeters and was successfully used to hit a ball. The shot reached a distance greater than 45 meters, meeting the functionality requirements of the record. The attempt was made in Fort Worth, Texas, and was officially registered. In 2011, the first exoplanet or brown dwarf with a ring system 200 times larger than Saturn's was discovered. Named J1407b, it has a total of 37 rings that occupy 120 million kilometers. In addition, there is a space between the rings that could house a planet the size of Mars or Earth. The Miura Kaigan Sakura Festival is celebrated annually in Miura City, Kanagawa Prefecture, Japan. It takes place between February and March, when over 1,000 Kawasuzakura cherry trees bloom. The trees extend along the Keikyu train tracks and the path to Komatsugaiki Park. During the festival, there are food stalls and local products. It is one of the first cherry blossom events in Japan each year. Recorded in Texas, United States, this is a Volvo 244, a mobile work of art. It is not just a car, but a surprising display that carries on its roof, hood, and doors the unusual load of 200 singing fish and lobsters. Did you know that there is a snake capable of flying, or rather, falling with style? It is the paradise tree snake, better known as the flying snake for its ability to jump from the top of trees and glide in the air. To do so, it propels itself upwards and undulates its body in an S shape to move with the help of the wind. In this way, it can move quickly from one tree to another and take its prey by surprise. The Grand Prismatic Spring in Yellowstone National Park, United States, is the largest hot spring in the country and the third largest in the world. It stands out for its intense colors, caused by pigmented bacteria that thrive in mineral-rich waters. These bacteria form biofilms that vary according to temperature. Occasional phenomena such as steam vortices can be observed due to the interaction of heat with the air. Its diameter exceeds 90 meters, and its temperature is around 70 degrees Celsius. It is one of the most photographed landscapes in Yellowstone. Michael Jackson, in addition to being known for his music and his unique dance moves, also patented a pair of anti-gravity shoes in 1993. These shoes had a special adaptation that allowed users to perform forward-leaning movements without falling. These horses have lush mustaches. They are the domestic horse breed known as the Gypsy Vanner, very famous on the island of Great Britain and Ireland. Their greatest physical attraction are those incredible mustaches that they let grow. In addition, they have very strong, muscular, and medium-length necks. They certainly look very elegant. In Colombia, the Caño Cristales River is known as the River of the Five Colors, or the river that escaped from paradise due to its impressive palette of colors. During certain times of the year, the river is filled with shades of red, yellow, green, blue, and black, thanks to the aquatic plants and minerals on its bed. Some Australian geckos have hydrophobic skin that repels water thanks to microstructures called spinules. These allow drops to roll or jump on the surface, keeping them dry. This mechanism helps prevent fungal or bacterial infections. The effect resembles what happens in a hot pan. The hydrophobic property also contributes to their natural cleaning. Aerogel is a unique and the most ultralight material in the world, composed mainly of air. Although its structure is 99% air, its three-dimensional polymer network makes it a perfect thermal and acoustic insulator. It has the ability to support up to 1,000 times its weight and is commonly used in buildings to prevent sudden temperature changes, as well as in spacesuits. Racing greyhounds reach speeds close to 70 kilometers per hour, thanks to their explosive start and aerodynamic body. Racehorses, especially thoroughbreds, have similar maximum speeds, around 75 kilometers per hour. However, their initial acceleration is slower and requires more distance to reach maximum performance. Therefore, greyhounds outperform horses in acceleration. Both animals stand out for their speed over short distances. The comparison should consider acceleration time, track type, and physical endurance. The phenomenon known as a cloud tsunami has been recorded in places such as San Antonio, Chile, and Lake Michigan in the United States. It consists of a mass of coastal fog or dense cloudiness that moves rapidly due to changes in pressure and temperature. In Chile, it occurs when a coastal trough pushes humid air from the sea inland. In Lake Michigan, it can be generated by cold fronts that condense moisture. Physical obstacles can modify the shape of the clouds but do not generate them. The Xoloitzcuintla is a hairless dog native to Mexico. There is another variety with hair, and dogs born with hair are still pure Xoloitzcuintlas. Puppies of both varieties can be born in the same litter. In Mexican culture, it was believed that Xolos accompanied the souls of the deceased when they traveled to the underworld, so they were buried along with the dead they were to accompany and guide. A mound of earth emerging from the water was recorded in Haryana, India, and disseminated on social media. It has been speculated that it could be due to the accumulation of methane under the sediment, a phenomenon possible in environments with decomposing organic matter. Another hypothesis suggests a minor tectonic fault, although it is uncommon in that region. There are no formal studies to support either of these explanations. Deep Dive Dubai is the deepest diving pool in the world, located in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. It has a depth of 60 meters and is decorated as a submerged city, with apartments, vehicles, and themed spaces. Among its elements are a functional pool table and foosball table underwater. The experience is offered at different levels, from snorkeling to advanced diving. Prices vary according to the package, with some options exceeding $400. The place has become a global attraction for certified divers. Beavers are very clean animals. These rodents use their paws and claws to routinely comb and groom their fur. Furthermore, they are known for their ability to build dams, which creates habitats for other species and helps maintain aquatic ecosystems. Their diet consists mainly of bark, leaves, and aquatic plants, making them natural landscape engineers. During winter in Arkansas, United States, some trees acquire a crystalline appearance due to the accumulation of ice from freezing rain or wet snow. This visual effect has been informally called crystal trees due to their shimmering appearance. The extra weight can cause branches to break or entire trees to collapse. The phenomenon occurs more frequently during intense winter storms. In January of 2021, a brown bear chased a skier at the Predeal Resort in Romania, and the moment was captured on video and widely circulated by international media. The skier managed to escape by throwing his backpack, which distracted the animal. Encounters like this usually occur when humans venture into areas inhabited by bears, especially if there are cubs nearby. Recent studies indicate an increase in brown bear attacks in Europe. Regions with high bear density and low human presence are most prone to these incidents. Have you ever heard of transient luminous events? This is a meteorological phenomenon that occurs in the upper atmosphere when there are powerful thunderstorms. They are flashes of light above the clouds that can be up to 100 kilometers from the ground, which is why it is sometimes very difficult to see them. In addition, not many images have been captured because they last milliseconds. Because of how rare they are also known as sprites, elves, and blue jets. Botaoshi is a traditional Japanese sport practiced by cadets of the National Defense Academy. Each team has 150 players, divided into 75 attackers and 75 defenders. The objective is to tilt the opposing pole more than 30 degrees from the ground. Matches last 2 minutes and are repeated if there is a tie. Kicking, punching, or performing dangerous actions are prohibited. The practice is intense and has generated debate due to its physical contact. The event is held annually during the Academy's festival in Yokosuka. In this video, you can see the amount of water in fresh wood. It doesn't stop coming out while it is being crushed. That's why, to make any construction with wood, it must go through a drying process so that it strengthens and can withstand weight. Its natural moisture can make it very weak. In fact, it could be dangerous to build with this type of material. The sand curtain is an experimental design created by the Mexican firm Alvaro Ramirez Arquitectos. It functions like an hourglass. By rotating the panel, sand falls between two panes of glass and blocks light. This mechanism acts as a blind, without the need for textiles. The system seeks to combine lighting efficiency with architectural aesthetics. Although still in the prototype phase, it has been featured in specialized media. The axolotl, a very curious animal, can regenerate its limbs. This species of salamander that inhabits Mexico can regenerate lost body parts such as limbs, legs, tail, and even parts of the brain and heart. In the United Kingdom, first-person drone acrobatic flight is practiced. Pilots use goggles that receive a real-time signal from a camera on the drone, allowing them to fly as if they were on board. This mode includes races and maneuvers in open or indoor spaces. There are special tracks like those at Hoverforce in Cheshire. Events and competitions are organized by the British Drone Racing Association. Hot Wheels, launched in 1968 by Mattel, revolutionized the world of toy cars with its innovative approach to design and speed. Unlike other toys of the era, these small cars were designed to look sportier and bolder, inspired by American muscle cars. One of the first designers for Hot Wheels was Harry Bentley Bradley, who had worked as a car designer for General Motors, which explains the incredible realism of the models. Since then, Hot Wheels has sold over 6 billion cars, more than any car manufacturer in the world. Crows are extremely intelligent animals. Watch how this specimen provokes a fight among the vultures to get some of the food. The Chinese company OneSpace made its first private launch in 2018 with the Chongqing Liangjiang Star rocket. This was a suborbital test flight aimed at developing technologies for microsatellites and nanosatellites. OneSpace is part of a new wave of companies dedicated to improving access to low orbits. Recorded in China, this is a traffic jam produced mainly by trucks transporting watermelons. China is the largest watermelon producer in the world, with more than half of the annual global volume. It is followed by countries such as Turkey, Iran, Brazil, and Mexico. These transports are common during harvest seasons due to high national consumption. Watermelon is a fruit of great economic and cultural value in several Asian regions. The Swiss cheesemaker Beat Wampfler carried out a unique experiment to demonstrate that cheese changes its flavor according to the music it listens to. To prove it, he placed 9 wheels of cheese in a cellar and exposed them to different musical genres 24 hours a day. After several months, he came to the conclusion that music had an impact on the flavor of the cheese. For example, a wheel exposed to hip-hop had a stronger and fruitier flavor, while another exposed to classical music was more balanced. In Australia, it is common to observe kangaroos moving along rural roads. The red kangaroo can reach speeds close to 70 kilometers per hour in short distances. Ostriches also reach that speed, while gazelles can reach up to 80. The leopard, although agile, has a maximum speed of about 58 kilometers per hour. The cheetah is the fastest land animal, with records between 104 and 115 kilometers per hour. Observe these great landscapes created from photographic overlays of curves of the human body. They are part of a series created by the British artist Carl Warner. These pieces have been called bodyscapes, or body landscapes, in Spanish. Although we see many bodies, Warner actually only works with one model in each composition. After photographing her from different angles and poses, the final image is completed in post-production. The El Totumo mud volcano is located in the municipality of Santa Catalina, near Cartagena, Colombia. It is not an active volcano in the geological sense, as it does not emit lava, but a mixture of mineral-rich mud. This site functions as a tourist attraction, where visitors can immerse themselves in its muddy waters for therapeutic purposes. The bath costs around $5, and additional services such as massages or rinsing may incur an extra cost. This was the first video to reach 1 million views on YouTube. A Nike commercial with Ronaldinho as the protagonist achieved it 4 months after the site was launched. China is consolidating its position as the undisputed leader in global duck meat production, a vital sector for its economy and gastronomy. This dominance is impressive, as the Asian country accounts for approximately 60% of the global production of this meat. Its duck farms extend across various provinces, with Jiangsu, Shandong, and Zhejiang standing out as the main production centers. These are bags that look like real cats. As you can see, they look very cute, although they look a bit chilling. They are created by the Japanese designer Nekose Sakupiko using synthetic furs. But the most impressive thing is her incredible talent for making such realistic kittens. Each of her purses has a retail price of between $500 and $700. These are the orbits of Jupiter's moons. To date, at least 79 satellites have been counted and are divided into 4 groups. 4 inner satellites that are medium-sized and closer to the planet. Then follow 4 Galilean satellites, which are the largest and the first to be discovered. 10 regular satellites that are small and have large orbits. Finally, the retrograde satellites that are tiny, some of them barely 1 kilometer in diameter. Porsche was founded in 1931 by Ferdinand Porsche in Stuttgart, Germany, initially as an automotive engineering consulting company. Its first vehicle, the Porsche 64, was built in 1938 and was designed to compete in the Mille Miglia race. However, Porsche became truly famous in 1964 with the launch of the Porsche 911, a model that has become an icon in the automotive industry. The 911 is known for its distinctive design and exceptional performance, and has maintained its popularity for more than 5 decades, becoming a symbol of the brand and a benchmark in sports cars. This is a glyphosate jet. Glyphosate is a herbicide used in agriculture. It is likely that this appearance is due to it not being diluted in water, but it could also be the pressure with which the chemical is expelled, combined with a camera that causes a stroboscopic effect on it. For those who still don't know about the stroboscopic effect, this is achieved with a stroboscopic lamp that emits flashes of light, and these flashes can be synchronized with the speed of water droplets, as in this other homemade experiment. Fortune cookies were not invented in China. Although these cookies are widely associated with Chinese culture, they have their origins in the United States in 1918. They were created by Chinese immigrants in the United States as a way to make cookies more appealing to Western customers with a tag containing a message. A shower of sparks caused by lightning was recorded in St. Petersburg, Russia, on May 19, 2021. The event occurred when lightning struck trolleybus wires at an urban intersection. The electrical discharge reached a nearby metallic structure, generating flashes over pedestrians. The incident illustrates the force of thunderstorms in densely wired urban areas. The magnetic mountain of Mount Kyaiktiyo in Myanmar is a sacred site famous for the Golden Rock, a large rock covered in gold leaves that seems to defy gravity by balancing on the edge of a cliff. According to legend, the rock is held in place by a hair of Buddha embedded in it. The magic trick of the levitating glass uses real techniques such as invisible thread, commonly called fishing line. This is best hidden if the magician wears light-colored clothing, helping to disguise the setup. The liquid in the glass can add tension to the thread and stabilize the levitation. The illusion depends on balance and visual perspective. It is a creative variation of classic illusion techniques. The University of Oxford has been studying the properties of spider silk for years through the Oxford Silk Group. Although it does not perform massive harvests, it collects small amounts of silk for scientific research. The group led by Fritz Vollrath analyzes the behavior of spiderwebs and seeks to replicate their structure using synthetic fibers. Spin-off companies like Oxford Biomaterials and Spintex are working on commercial applications. These include medical, textile, and sustainable technological uses. Spider silk stands out for its exceptional strength and lightness. Whales can slow their heart rate to as low as 2 beats per minute. They do this to save oxygen. The maximum heart rate of these animals is up to 36 beats per minute, but when they dive to the depths, they can slow it down to 2 beats per minute. In comparison, a human heart has between 60 and 100 beats per minute. The aqua spinner is located in Aquapark Reda, in the city of Reda, Poland, near Gdansk. It is the first rotating slide wheel-type water slide installed in Europe. Its structure rotates like a horizontal Ferris wheel, causing bathers to slide forward and backward in rafts inside the tube. The ride simulates loss of gravity through changes in rhythm and direction. It was designed by the company Wiegand Water Rides. Observe how frogs look from below. It seems as if they have some kind of glue as they are completely adhered to the surface. During the traditional teddy bear toss, fans of the Omaha Lancers team throw stuffed animals onto the ice rink after the first home goal. The event takes place in Ralston, Nebraska, where the team competes in the league. The collected stuffed animals are donated to foundations, children's hospitals, and charitable campaigns. The initiative strengthens the bond between sport and community. This practice is also carried out by other hockey teams in the United States and Canada. Glowfish are genetically modified organisms that glow thanks to fluorescent genes inserted into their embryos. These genes come from jellyfish and marine corals and cause the color to be expressed naturally. Development began in Singapore and they have been primarily marketed in the United States since 2003. The most modified species include Danios, Tetras, Barbs, and Bettas. The fluorescent color is passed on through reproduction. It is not injected or painted. Octopuses are known for their flexibility, their 3 hearts, their intelligence in problem-solving, and also their ability to camouflage, a skill that allows them to adapt to the environment and thus avoid predator attacks. To do this, octopuses use their skin, which contains pigments called chromatophores that they can expand or contract at will to change color. In Termas del Flaco, Chile, fossilized dinosaur footprints are found impressed on a now almost vertical surface. These footprints were made by 3-toed theropods 150 million years ago. The terrain was originally flat and muddy near marine environments. Tectonic movements tilted this layer over millennia. The site was declared a historical monument in 1967. The footprints are visible on a mountainside. A person can die of laughter. Several people have, usually due to intense laughter causing a heart attack or suffocation. Comedy shows should come with a warning. Koi Garden Coffee is located in District 5, Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. The cafe stands out for having tables installed inside shallow ponds where koi fish swim. Although they do not float, the tables are surrounded by water, which creates a unique visual sensation. Customers can feed the fish from their seats while enjoying their drink. It is also possible to dip your feet in the water as part of the experience. The atmosphere combines relaxation, contact with nature, and original design. The Flower Clock in Geneva, Switzerland, is a unique floral clock created in 1955. This clock is composed of thousands of flowers and plants, and its design changes with the seasons, making it a beautiful and colorful tourist attraction that is also a symbol of the city. In 2020, the Turkish YouTuber Hasan Kaval performed a paragliding flight from Alanya, Turkey, using a bed equipped with a stool, lamp, alarm clock, blankets, and cushion. All the furniture was firmly attached to the paraglider, allowing the entire setup to fly at over 800 meters in altitude. For about 15 minutes, Kaval remained lying down and calm while being recorded from the ground. The flight concluded with a soft landing on Cleopatra Beach, in front of curious tourists. The video went viral due to the unusual and seemingly dangerous nature of the feat. Although sushi is commonly associated with Japan, its origins go back to ancient China. Today, sushi is a fashionable dish in international gastronomy, but its origin is very old. The first references date back to the year 718 in China. The technique of watermelon carving is part of an artistic tradition present for centuries in Asian countries such as Thailand, China, and Vietnam. It consists of designing patterns on the surface of the fruit and precisely cutting them with specialized knives. Watermelon is chosen for its size, chromatic contrast, and ease of handling. Carving is frequently used in celebrations and gastronomic exhibitions. Today, it is a decorative art form with a presence on social media and in culinary competitions. This was a rare, perfectly spherical cloud that appeared in the sky of Japan in the year 2016. The photograph was shared on social media and quickly went viral on the internet. The image was captured in the town of Fujisawa, in the prefecture of Kanagawa, about 30 kilometers from Tokyo. According to some meteorological experts, this peculiar phenomenon is called a roll cloud and is produced from currents that form over the mountains on a particularly windy day. The Scorpion 3 hoverbike, created by the Russian company HoverSurf, is a prototype limited in speed and range, developed as an experimental vehicle. Its flight was recorded in Moscow as part of demonstration tests. In Mexico, the use of the EHang 216 drone, manufactured by the Chinese company EHang, is expected. This electric drone can transport up to 630 kilograms and reach 130 kilometers per hour. Its autonomy is close to 30 kilometers, and it operates autonomously on pre-established air routes. It takes off and lands from platforms known as skyports. Although still in the testing phase, it represents an advance in urban air mobility. The person with the most Olympic medals in the world is Michael Phelps, an American swimmer. He has a total of 28 medals, 23 gold, 3 silver, and 2 bronze, obtained between the Athens 2004 and Rio 2016 Olympic Games. His record highlights his excellence and dedication in his sports discipline. This is probably the largest toilet in the world. It must measure around 2 meters, and, although it can flush water like a real one, it is not functional for human use. It is an eccentric work of art, rather than a practical toilet. This is one of the best toys in the world. The speed of the car makes the board stay attached to your fingers. Usain Bolt ran in zero gravity during a parabolic flight conducted over France in September of 2018. The event took place aboard an Airbus operated by Nove Space, as part of a promotional campaign. These flights generate temporary weightlessness by ascending at an angle and then descending in a ballistic trajectory. For a few seconds, passengers experience freefall, simulating weightlessness. The plane reaches approximately 33,000 feet of altitude during the maneuver. Meet the Acrophila phallax, a member of the stick insects that live in Madagascar. The males are a brilliant electric blue with greenish tints and have 2 rows of reddish-orange spines along the edges of the femur. There are also dark-colored spines along the sides and under the thorax. Lacrymaria oler is a single-celled microorganism that lives in freshwater puddles and stands out for its extensible and flexible neck. This neck can reach up to 30 times the length of the body and allows it to capture other mobile cells. The extension is achieved through an internal helical microtubule structure, similar to cellular origami. This mechanism was documented by Stanford researchers in recent studies. The behavior responds to chemical and mechanical stimuli in its environment. How many people have lived in the world from the beginning until now? Estimating how many people have lived on Earth since the beginning is complicated, but it is estimated that around 108 billion people have been born since the first modern humans emerged about 200,000 years ago. This figure includes everyone from the first hunter-gatherers to the current population that exceeds 8 billion, an astonishing testament to the history of humanity. The Great Salt Lake, in Utah, United States, is the largest saline lake in the Western Hemisphere. Its salinity is higher than that of the ocean, which prevents most aquatic species from surviving in its waters. However, it is home to large populations of brine shrimp that are a key food for migratory birds. The Great Salt Lake is a remnant of the ancient Lake Bonneville that once covered a large part of the region. China is home to some of the most impressive highways in the world, known for their monumental scale and complex engineering. Many of these roads are not simple paths, but elevated structures that wind through diverse landscapes, from dense cities to mountainous terrain. Here you can see how difficult it is for an astronaut who was in space for 197 days to walk on Earth again. This video was shared by an astronaut after returning from a mission from the International Space Station. Although astronauts do 2 hours of daily exercise to maintain muscle mass and bone density, the return to Earth inevitably involves a difficult process to adapt to things as simple as walking. Martial arts include numerous disciplines that use sticks as part of their training or demonstration. Styles such as eskrima, arnis, kali, kung fu, and silambam incorporate techniques with short or long staffs. Some routines are part of choreographed exhibitions. The practice is used in both combat and artistic expression. The largest cockroach in the world can swim. This is a new species of isopod, or in more common words, an enormous marine cockroach. It is found at 2,000 meters of depth and can grow up to 50 centimeters. The fact that it is so large is attributed to the lack of natural predators. It has also helped that these giant sea bugs have less meat than a crab. And believe it or not, it is very common to find stuffed animals with this shape in Japan. The Dassault Rafale is a French multi-role fighter introduced officially in 2001. It is among the most advanced in the country and is used by the air forces of France, India, Egypt, and Qatar. Its Delta Canard design and fly-by-wire system allow for high-lift maneuvers and great agility. The Rafale excels in air-to-air combat, air-to-ground, and reconnaissance. It has also been exported as part of strategic bilateral agreements. In the canals of Xochimilco is the Island of the Dolls, an island full of dolls hanging from trees. It is said that they were placed there by a man who wanted to appease the spirit of a girl who died on the island. The largest public toilet in the world is located in Chongqing, China, within the Foreigner Street theme park. Known as Porcelain Palace, it was inaugurated in 2007 and houses over 1,000 toilets distributed in a large building. The designs are extravagant and are part of a tourist attraction. The facilities were functional at the time, although some were only used for exhibition. Sometimes, when there is a lot of humidity and little wind, it is possible to see these intake vortices coming out of an airplane's turbines. This type of makeup belongs to the art of optical illusion, where facial features are manipulated to create disorienting visual effects. The trick of painting the left eye as if it were the right is based on inverted symmetry and forced perspective, which tricks the brain into interpreting the image as a misaligned mask. The nose, mouth, and contour are drawn with precise shading and contrast lines that simulate volume and depth. Some years ago, a Saudi prince paid Kristen Stewart $500,000 to sit and talk with him for 15 minutes. The actress donated the money to the Hurricane Sandy Relief Fund. The Explosive Hammer Festival is celebrated annually in San Juan de la Vega, Guanajuato, Mexico. It takes place around Shrove Tuesday, before the beginning of Lent. Participants hit rails with hammers loaded with homemade explosives, made of sulfur and chlorate. The tradition evokes a historical struggle between peasants and landowners, inspired by the local figure of San Juanito. The event symbolizes popular justice and has been maintained as a unique cultural expression. I present to you the Myrmecocystus mimicus, also called the honey ant. You probably already guess, the large sac in its body is full of honey. It inhabits dry and warm regions of Mexico. It is capable of storing in its abdomen a quantity of water and sugar that can enlarge its belly to the size of a grape, and is practically transparent, which is why we can see its interior. An ant colony can feed from the reserve of some of its members when they do not have other nutrients available. Recorded in Michigan, United States, this restaurant sells one of the largest hamburgers in the country. This is a juicy burger and perhaps one of the tallest. This other one may have broken a record in the United States for the largest hamburger. Apple seeds are toxic. The reason for this is that they contain cyanide, a potent poison. However, you have nothing to worry about, as the dose in each seed is very low. Additionally, for it to take effect, you must chew and break it, which is a bit difficult due to its very hard outer layer. But if you're wondering how many seeds would be needed for a lethal dose, the answer is 50. A via ferrata is a mountain route equipped with cables, staples, ladders, and other fixed elements that allow progress through vertical or exposed areas safely. In Switzerland, there are notable routes such as Daubenhorn in Leukerbad or Mürren-Gimmelwald, accessible to hikers with appropriate equipment. The term has Italian origins, and its use became popular during World War I in the Alps. The most famous via ferratas are in the Dolomites, but there are also many in France, Germany, and Spain. Like humans, cats and dogs can get acne. In the case of these animals, it is an inflammation of the hair follicle due to the presence of bacteria or excess sebum on the skin. These pimples can appear on their chin, lips, base of the tail, or eyelids. In dogs, it usually only happens when they are between 5 and 8 months old. In contrast, feline acne occurs occasionally and can become a recurrent problem. The martial art known as whip and dagger was developed in the United States by Tom Meadows in 1987. It is inspired by Filipino and Southeast Asian techniques with weapons such as the whip and dagger. It is a hybrid discipline for martial and scenic purposes. This is the rainbow tree. Observe the bark of this tree. It looks like a true work of art. It is known as the rainbow eucalyptus, and it is perfectly clear why. This tree can reach 75 meters in height, and its branches are square. But the most interesting thing is its multicolored bark. What happens is that patches of the outer bark fall off annually, exposing the green inner bark. As it matures, the color turns blue, purple, orange, and some maroon tones. Due to its attractive appearance, it is often planted in parks and gardens as an ornament. In the northern savannas of Australia, some raptors practice a behavior known as firehawking. Species such as the black kite, whistling kite, and brown falcon collect burning branches from active fires and drop them in other areas. This expands the fire to hunt fleeing prey, such as lizards, snakes, and rodents. This behavior has been observed by scientists, firefighters, and indigenous communities. Although there is no definitive visual evidence of each action, testimonies are consistent. The Margherita Pizza is named after Queen Margherita, who in 1889 visited the Brandy Pizzeria in Naples. The chef made her a special pizza that contained the 3 colors of the Italian flag. On the plains of the Fitzroy River, Australia, movement patterns formed by sheep flocks seen from drones have been documented. These images show how the animals group together and move en masse. These patterns have been compared to natural flows due to their collective behavior. These are the veiled stinkhorn mushrooms. They are characterized by the remarkable net-like veil that hangs from the cap, where a brown, foul-smelling substance also forms, detectable from a distance to attract flies that disperse their spores. They appear in soils with abundant organic matter, alone or in small groups, and are quite a spectacle. This video shows how hundreds of thousands of army ants form a living bridge to reach a wasp nest. The Bund Finance Center is located in Shanghai, China, and was designed by Heatherwick Studio and Foster & Partners. Its kinetic facade features 3 movable layers of vertical metal tubes that rotate on rails. These dynamic curtains evoke bamboo and traditional Chinese screens. They are composed of 675 pieces of aluminum and stainless steel. The movement of the structures generates different levels of transparency depending on their position. Valonia ventricosa, also known as bubble algae and sailor's eyeball, is a species of algae found in waters around the world in tropical and subtropical areas. It is one of the largest single-celled organisms seen so far. A team from the University of Paris managed to make plastic boats float upside down thanks to vertical vibrations applied to liquids such as glycerol or silicone oil. These vibrations create a stable lower interface between the liquid and the air, where objects can float upside down. It is a frequency-controlled system. The phenomenon contradicts the classic Archimedes principle and requires dynamic equilibrium. Meet the rock hyrax, a very cute mammal. It usually measures about 50 centimeters and weighs about 4 kilograms when it is an adult. It has a pair of long incisors and usually lives in habitats with cracks in rocks to escape from threats. But it spends most of its time resting or sunbathing. It has a life expectancy of 10 years. This is a skater's house in the modern art center Galerie Jeux Entreprise in Paris, France. The entire surface is skatable and is inspired by a half-pipe. It was designed by the French architect Jean Nouvel. Meet the most flexible woman in the world. Her name is Julia Gunthal, known as Zlata. She is originally from Kazakhstan, and, as you can see, she is able to contort her body in an impressive way. Her elasticity is due to the fact that, strangely, her joints are as docile as those of a newborn baby. This is possibly because she started practicing contortionism from the age of 4. This is a vein moving. In reality, it is a vein that moves due to the action of 2 fingers. Veins are thin and blue because they carry deoxygenated blood. In contrast, arteries are thick and red because they carry oxygenated blood from the heart to the entire body. The government of Romania tried to include sorcerers in the list of professions that had to pay taxes, with the intention of helping to combat the economic recession that the country was going through. This attempt to tax sorcerers and other esoteric practices sought to expand the tax base at a time of financial difficulties. In Lake Baikal, Russia, a curious natural phenomenon known as Baikal Zen forms. It consists of stones that appear to float on ice pedestals during winter. Solar radiation heats the stones, slowly melting the ice directly beneath them. This process leaves a colder base that supports the stone in equilibrium. Wind also contributes to the erosion of the surrounding ice. Although rare, it has been photographed and documented by observers and specialized media. The Amsterdam Stock Exchange, founded in 1602, is considered the first formal stock exchange in the world. It was established by the Dutch East India Company, allowing investors to buy and sell shares of the company. This capital market model was revolutionary and became the basis for modern stock exchanges that now operate all over the world. The ropes are surely attached to the chest from below. It is the same principle that any metal worker uses to straighten metal. This is Sky Slide, a glass slide on the facade of one of the tallest buildings in Los Angeles. It measures 13 meters and is about 300 meters from the pavement, inviting incredulous observers and generating sighs from those who look from the street. Josh Newman was an American longboard downhill skater, known for his videos on Swiss roads. On these routes, speeds exceeding 100 kilometers per hour can be reached. To brake, skaters drift and use gloves with sliding discs on their palms. To reduce speed, they raise their bodies, and to accelerate, they crouch down. They also tuck in their back leg and arms to minimize resistance. The boards used, called longboards, usually measure between 90 and 110 centimeters. This is what the innovative split-wheel bicycle looks like. At first glance, it looks like a normal bicycle, but it is not, because it has an adaptation in the rear fork which, in addition to being quite long, allows the placement of 2 sprockets, one for each half of the wheel, which helps it to have a movement similar to that of a conventional bicycle. This creation was made by an engineer from the famous YouTube channel called The Q. Similar to déjà vu, there is a phrase to express the feeling that something is on the tip of your tongue. Presque vu. Almost seen. It refers to the experience where a person can almost remember something, but without fully succeeding. In Japan, a prototype called Katsugyo bag has been presented, designed to transport live fish until they are prepared for cooking. It functions as a portable capsule that keeps the fish in optimal conditions during transit. This device includes an oxygen saturation meter, thermostat, and integrated battery. The technique allows the fish to be kept fresh without the need for ice or conventional refrigeration. Its use is intended for specialized gastronomy. Saltwater crocodiles are capable of traveling long distances in the ocean. This species has developed special glands that allow them to excrete excess salt, which allows them to survive not only in rivers and estuaries, but also in marine environments. Beavers' teeth are adapted for gnawing and cutting wood. They can knock down trees using their sharp incisors and then use the wood to build dams and dens. The human ear can distinguish between hundreds of thousands of different sounds. It is estimated that it is capable of discerning between hundreds of thousands of unique sounds, from the soft whisper of the wind to the roar of thunder. Did you know that these saws are not actually spinning? When doctors have to remove a cast because the fracture or sprain has healed, they use a saw, which is why many people are afraid of it. But don't worry, in fact it is not spinning, but oscillating very quickly. This is to avoid harming the patient and to be able to cut the hard material of the cast. The Indian giant squirrel, also known as Ratufa bicolor, is an impressive species that inhabits the tropical forests of Southeast Asia. This squirrel is known for its bright and multicolored fur that varies between shades of orange, white, black, and brown, which makes it stand out among other species. They can measure up to 1 meter long, including their tail, and are incredibly agile, jumping between trees with great skill. Its vibrant coloration helps it camouflage itself among the leaves. Brad DeBerti created this incredible Segway using all-terrain truck tires and adapting each one so that it could function correctly. Without a doubt, it is a bit difficult to handle, but very fun at the same time. This terrifying fish is the abyssal anglerfish, and it is one of the fish that show an enormous gender difference. Females can measure up to 1 meter long and weigh up to 30 kilograms, while males only measure 2 centimeters. The males depend completely on the females to survive and live as parasites of them, since they join their bodies and in a few weeks their blood vessels and flesh have completely fused. They basically become a single fish. Some females can have up to 8 males attached to them. Recorded in Denmark, this is a cinnamon bath. There is a belief that it brings good luck. It is known as the cinnamon ritual and consists of throwing kilograms of this powder on the head of a man or woman who has not yet married by the age of 25. It is an effective ritual and works not because it gives you luck, but because it gives you publicity, and thanks to it, your community now knows that you want to get married. In Japan, ice cream lasts longer without melting. This is because they add a secret ingredient extracted from strawberries, polyphenol. This keeps the ice cream frozen for much longer. Nanjing Road in Shanghai, China, is one of the busiest commercial areas in the country. Its pedestrian section receives hundreds of thousands of visitors daily, especially during peak seasons. It is known for its shops, restaurants, and shopping centers. The pedestrian crossing is one of the most massive in China. What appears to be a single needle on a mosquito's head are actually 6. 2 pierce the skin, 2 move the tissue, 1 absorbs the plasma, and the other injects chemicals that allow the fluid to flow faster. Recorded in the United States, this is an abandoned mine shaft. Depending on its weight, a stone falls at an approximate speed of 60 kilometers per hour, meaning it takes 1 minute to fall 1 kilometer. These burning barrels took about 15 seconds to fall, assuming they would have extinguished before hitting bottom, and they did. This shaft is approximately 250 meters deep. Believe it or not, these dinosaurs are completely real. They are hyper-realistic robotic suits controlled by humans from the inside. These suits were created by the Japanese company On Art, and the funny thing is that, although people know that they are not real dinosaurs, they react with a lot of fear when they come across these designs. Have you ever wondered if there are smells in space? The answer is yes. Astronauts do not perceive it directly for obvious reasons, but they feel the aromas that are impregnated in their suits. They say it is a strange smell and difficult to describe, similar to barbecue, burnt metal, and gunpowder. This is due to atomic fusions and convulsions of distant stars that throw these smells in all directions and travel to infinity. Surely, they are not at all pleasant. In Turkey, a tradition over 1,000 years old known as camel wrestling is practiced. It takes place in winter when Tulu camels, hybrids bred for this purpose, compete during the mating season. The event occurs mainly in the Aegean region and is part of Turkish cultural heritage. The practice originated among nomadic Turkic tribes. The fights are controlled and do not involve injuries to the camels. The public attends as part of local festivals. This you see on screen is an elephant bird egg and is worth $200,000. This important historical treasure measures about 31 centimeters and is a unique specimen from an elephant bird, a species that inhabited the island of Madagascar and was much larger than an ostrich. That is why their eggs had that size. Unfortunately, this species became extinct at some point in the 15th century, and for this reason, this egg is such a valuable treasure. Itacolumets are porous stones that can become flexible when cut into thin strips. Their structure allows for some movement between the quartz grains, which prevents them from breaking easily. This property has been documented in specimens from Brazil, India, and the United States, especially in regions like Minas Gerais and Georgia. Their appearance resembles a bonded but malleable sandstone. This flexibility depends on the cut's orientation and thickness. This man performed the highest vertical jump in the world. He managed to jump onto a platform 1 meter 70 centimeters high using only his legs. This is American athlete Chris Spell, who has been training for years and continues to improve his technique to reach more surprising heights. According to him, this is what he is most passionate about in the world. The strange light illuminating the landscape could be due to an electrical discharge caused by a short circuit in a high-voltage installation. This type of event can generate intense and sudden flashes, especially if there are exposed power lines, defective transformers, or an overload in a nearby generating plant. Keanu Reeves was very good as an ice hockey goaltender. and his dream was to compete professionally for Canada, but an injury ended his hopes. So, he changed his life's direction and dedicated himself to acting. Observe how luggage is stowed in an airplane's cargo compartments. Although it seems incredible, a dog in the United States inherited $5 million. American businessman Bill Dorris stated in his last will that all his money should be used for the maintenance and well-being of his dog Lulu, an 8-year-old border collie. The $5 million went into a trust so that the dog's new caretaker, Martha Burton, could cover her needs. However, people do not believe that $5 million can be spent on just one dog. The world's largest surfboard was used in Huntington Beach, California, on June 20, 2015. It measured 12.83 meters long and over 3 meters wide. It was built by Westerly Marine and Moldcam as part of the epic Big Board Ride event. On that occasion, 66 people managed to surf together on the same board for 13 seconds. The achievement set 2 Guinness records, for the number of people on a single board and for its size. Magnetic force, invisible yet powerful, is truly interesting, as this experiment demonstrates. Observe how these metallic spheres gain speed solely through magnetism. In Brazil, as in other places, there are sled attractions that use articulated sliding cars. These systems incorporate brakes to control speed, which is essential for safety. I present to you the thresher shark. Its most striking feature is the elongated shape of its tail, which measures almost as much as the rest of its body. Furthermore, its name is attributed to its use of its tail to strike and stun schools of fish and even birds when they are swimming near the water's surface. It whips its tail like a lash at an average speed of almost 50 kilometers per hour, which proves to be a very efficient method for obtaining food. Bee bearding is a practice in which thousands of bees cluster on a person's face. It is achieved by placing a queen inside a small cage under the participant's neck. Worker bees congregate due to the attraction of her pheromones. It is performed at agricultural fairs as a demonstration of the peaceful behavior of bees. It is a controlled practice and does not usually cause stings. JBL, founded in 1946 by James Bullough Lansing, has been a benchmark in the audio industry since its inception. Lansing, who had previously worked on the development of loudspeakers for cinema, created JBL with the vision of offering high-fidelity sound for both professional and home use. In 1969, JBL revolutionized outdoor concerts by designing the sound systems used at the iconic Woodstock Festival. This feat solidified the company's leadership in sound quality at large events. 2 people were seen wearing diving helmets on a public train as protection against germs. The use of bubble-type helmets has become popular as an individual expression rather than for medical protection. Some homemade models are sold online for around $40. However, these devices are not officially certified and do not guarantee effectiveness against pathogens. Have you ever heard of the Nightingale floor? This was the name given to a very curious alarm that was invented in Japan. The Nightingale floor was a noisy floor that served as an alert. It was very useful during the nights if a thief or a ninja entered your home in the dark. The noise from the floor was so loud that it alerted the homeowners, who could defend themselves in time. Recorded in Florida, United States, this video shows a bird of prey capturing what appears to be a shark. By its appearance, it could be a bald eagle, although there is also the possibility that it is an osprey, known for hunting fish. The captured animal is not necessarily a small shark. It could be a large tarpon, as both species inhabit coastal waters and have similar shapes from a certain distance. Between 1913 and 1920, it was legal to send children by mail in the United States. The parcel post service was introduced in 1913 at affordable prices. But there was one drawback. The definition of a package was unclear, which some interpreted as including children. The only restriction was weight, which could not exceed 23 kilograms, and for 7 years, at least 200 children were sent until the United States Congress prohibited it, deeming it cruel and inhumane. This is how astronauts eat in space. Basically, they eat pre-prepared meals that meet each individual's nutritional requirements. The food can be canned, foil-wrapped, dehydrated, pre-cooked, and low moisture. Astronauts can heat food in low-temperature ovens found on spacecraft. For seasoning, they have access to salt diluted in water and pepper diluted in oil. During wildfires in the United States, especially in California, the phenomenon of trees burning from the inside has been documented. This effect occurs due to the accumulation of kindling, dry leaves, and resin in trunk cavities. Lightning or a spark can initiate combustion, which remains active without damaging the external foliage. Although they do not have an official technical name, some informally call them infernal trees. Experts describe the process as a natural chimney within the tree. The phenomenon has been observed in recent fires, such as those in Sonoma and Big Basin. Polar bears are excellent swimmers. Although generally associated with the ice and snow of the Arctic, polar bears are expert swimmers and can cover long distances in the water. They can swim at speeds of up to 10 kilometers per hour and travel hundreds of kilometers without rest in search of food. The Cappadocia region in Turkey is famous for its unique rock formations, historic underground cities, and hot air balloon flights. Göreme, Uçhisar, and Derinkuyu are some of its most visited spots. Every day, dozens of balloons fill the sky at dawn, offering spectacular views of the landscape. IKEA launched a campaign in a Swedish magazine where you could find out if you were pregnant without having to spend money on a test. You simply had to place a few drops of urine on one of its pages, and it would show you a discount on a crib if you were pregnant. These are time-lapse videos made by Google Earth showing the rapid growth of some cities like Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, Las Vegas in the United States, and Shanghai in China. Dolphins can recognize themselves in a mirror just 7 months after birth, which takes humans 12 months and chimpanzees 2 years. During certain recreational competitions, the San Boldo Pass in Veneto, Italy, transforms into a circuit for drift tricycle races. This mountain pass, built in 1918 by the Austro-Hungarian army, is famous for its sharp curves and tunnels carved into rock. Viral videos show participants descending at high speeds on adapted tricycles. The Slider King channel has documented these events. The road has controlled one-way traffic, allowing for occasional sporting use. You are looking at the chirinola, a Mexican plant also known as the walking cactus, due to its curious ability to move. It is native to the state of Baja California Sur. However, its population has decreased significantly. The reason it is considered a walking plant is because of its peculiar development. The chirinola grows parallel to the ground, which makes its shoots appear to advance. The Nevis swing is located in Queenstown, New Zealand, and is one of the largest swings in the world. It is suspended about 160 meters above the Nevis River Valley. The ride has a 300-meter arc and can reach speeds of up to 120 kilometers per hour. The experience begins with a 70-meter free fall. The swing simulates a pendulum movement in a spectacular alpine environment, popular among adrenaline lovers. Evergreen Marine Corporation, founded in 1968 in Taiwan, is one of the largest shipping companies in the world. Its distinctive green color and large container ships have become an emblem on the seas. Evergreen pioneered the creation of direct cargo shipping routes between the Far East and the American continent, significantly reducing shipping times. In 2021, one of its ships, the Ever Given, made history by blocking the Suez Canal for 6 days, disrupting almost 12% of global trade. When Queen Elizabeth II visited the set of the Game of Thrones series, the production offered her to sit on the Iron Throne, which she flatly refused. This is because the Queen is forbidden from sitting on a foreign throne. The word gymnasium comes from the Greek gymnasium, meaning place to exercise naked. In ancient Greece, gymnasiums were public spaces where young men trained for the Olympic Games and other physical activities. As part of their training, athletes exercised naked. Over time, the meaning expanded to refer to any place where people can exercise, regardless of whether they do so naked or not. In a viral video, a man is seen playing badminton against what appears to be the wind. However, neither the grass on the ground nor his clothes are moving, indicating there is no airflow. User analyses suggest that the shuttlecock is tied to an almost invisible thread. Honey will never spoil. Apparently, jars of honey have been found in ancient Egyptian tombs that were still completely edible. This is the Neuro R1, a peculiar autonomous shopping cart that carries your bags to your doorstep. It's a smart car that can make your shopping day much easier, as it can carry up to 12 full bags and deliver them to your desired address at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour. Additionally, it has 12 cameras with 360-degree vision, allowing the client to track all its movements until it reaches its destination. The vessel Arvin broke in two off the coast of Bartın, Turkey, on January 17, 2021. The collapse occurred due to structural failures and adverse weather conditions. Some crew members escaped by swimming or clinging to floating debris. Combat juggling, also called gladiator, is a sport in which players juggle 3 clubs while trying to make their opponents lose their pattern. It can be practiced one-on-one, in teams, or free-for-all. Directly hitting the opponent is prohibited. Only interfering with their clubs is allowed. The game has existed since the 1970s, although its exact origin is debated. It has moderate popularity in Europe and the United States. The oldest dog in the world lived to be 29.5 years old. Although the average age a dog reaches is usually around 10 to 15 years, an Australian cattle dog named Bluey survived to the ripe old age of 29.5 years, almost double the average life expectancy of his breed, and was in fact euthanized. A study conducted in 2018 found that wearing a tie can reduce blood flow to the brain by up to 7.5%, which can make you feel dizzy, nauseous, and cause headaches. They can also increase pressure in the eyes if worn too tightly, and are excellent germ carriers. Within Tokyo, there is a neighborhood decorated with Captain Tsubasa, or better known in Latin America as Super Campeones. We are talking about the Yotsugi neighborhood, a place dedicated to fully honoring the anime that was part of many people's childhood. Dogs are smarter than you think. They can even perform simple mathematical operations. These animals can count various types of objects if placed in front of them and even identify written numbers. Their cognitive ability is comparable to that of a 2-year-old child, and because they are a domestic species, they can learn a lot from what their owners do. This is how many car scenes in action movies are filmed. The most curious thing of all is how they operate the machine with a small miniature replica. Meet Rapid Raft, the instant raft that inflates in seconds and doesn't need oars. This peculiar raft is the size of a bag of sliced bread, so you can carry it in your backpack, in your suitcase, or tied to your belt. It has plastic gloves, so you can use your hands as oars. It weighs only 1.3 kilograms and was developed for military purposes, but is now sold for recreational purposes, as it is ideal for hiking, fishing, or for survival adventures. The Invisible House of Joshua Tree is located in California, near the park of the same name. It was designed by Thomas Osinski along with producer Chris Hanley, and stands out for its mirrored glass facade. It has an indoor pool of more than 30 meters, an equipped kitchen, and up to 4 bedrooms. It also has at least 3 bathrooms and a separate suite. It can be rented by the night or by the month, and night prices vary between $2,000 and $7,000. The Hammerschwand elevator is located in Bergenstock, Switzerland, and is the highest outdoor elevator in Europe. It was inaugurated in 1905 and reaches a height of 153 meters. It connects the Felsenweg Trail with the Hammerschwand viewpoint, more than 1,130 meters above sea level. It is part of the Bergenstock Resort Complex, situated on the mountaintop. From its elevated structure, the optical phenomenon known as the Brocken specter or glory can occasionally be observed. This consists of a circular rainbow surrounding the projected shadow of a figure. We introduce you to Simon Beck, a true snow artist. He makes works of art like these. Simon comments that it all started when he bought an apartment in the French Alps, and, after skiing, he thought of drawing a small star with his snowshoes. The next day when he returned to see it, he was amazed by its appearance and decided to continue doing it. Some of his drawings are even extremely large, and the tool he uses is his feet. The man with the most world records. I present to you Ashrita Furman, the man who has broken the most Guinness records in history. Here you can see him breaking the record for the most eggs caught without breaking. This 66-year-old man became interested in world titles after 40. He achieved his first by completing the most consecutive scissor jumps in 1979. Since then, he has not stopped breaking records in all kinds of categories, from the longest distance walked with a bicycle balanced on his chin, to the most eggs caught without breaking. He has broken more than 600 records in total. The Alabaster Caves in New Mexico, United States, are located in the Lechuguilla Cave National Monument. These caves are known for their extraordinary gypsum and alabaster formations, some of the most impressive and delicate in the world. The caves were sealed for millions of years, which allowed unique microbial ecosystems to develop without outside influence. Istanbul in Turkey is the only city in the world that spans 2 continents, Europe and Asia. The interesting thing is that Istanbul has been the capital of 3 different empires: the Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire, and the Ottoman Empire. Its rich history is reflected in its monuments, such as the Hagia Sophia, which has been a cathedral, a mosque, and now a museum, symbolizing the fusion of cultures in this unique metropolis. Gelato, an Italian delight, is known for its smooth and creamy texture that differs from common ice cream. The curious thing is that gelato contains less fat and air than ice cream, which intensifies its flavor. Furthermore, it is served at a slightly higher temperature than ice cream, which allows its flavor to be perceived more quickly on the palate. It is a must-try on any visit to Italy. In Guadalajara, Mexico, The Hernandez Silva Arquitectos firm designed a bathroom with a glass floor. This is located on the 15th floor of a building constructed in the 1970s. During its remodeling, a void for an elevator that was never installed was discovered. In that space, a half bathroom was built that allows a view of the 15 levels of the empty shaft. The visual effect went viral due to its extreme design. The glass floor is safe and structured to support weight. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it and share it with your friends. Subscribe so you don't miss more interesting content. Leave your comments and click on any of these videos. See you next time.